Hey everyone and welcome. So today we're going to unpack a really wild idea. I'm talking about a single mathematical framework that's designed to measure the true value of, well, literally everything, from an entire country to a cryptocurrency all the way down to a loaf of bread.
It really all boils down to one fundamental question. We have tons of metrics for our economy, GDP, inflation, you name it, but do any of them actually tell us if our lives are getting better? Are we even measuring the right things?
I mean, this quote right here just nails the problem perfectly. Our number one metric, GDP, goes up when a city is destroyed, and it goes up when it's rebuilt. It's just measuring activity, not whether any of that activity actually improved anyone's life.
And that brings us to our first big point. The core argument here is that we're basically trying to measure the modern world with a set of completely broken rulers.
Yeah, our go-to tools just don't cut it. We already saw the issue with GDP. And inflation? Well, the basket of goods they use is often tweaked for political reasons, and it's almost impossible to compare between countries. Market cap? That's really just a measure of investor mood, not what something is truly worth. And even purchasing power parity, it all leans on the US dollar. But what's measuring the dollar? You see the problem? We're measuring the ruler with the ruler.
Okay, so if the old way is busted, what's the alternative? This leads us to a whole new philosophical starting point. What if, instead of money, we measured value based on our actual, lived experience? I'm talking about the things money is supposed to get us: health, time, freedom, safety.
To do that, this system breaks value down into two forces that are always pushing against each other. On one side, you have prosperity, or P. This is all the good stuff: happiness, freedom, the positive outputs. Think of it like a river's current, the forward momentum. But then you have friction, or F. This is the systemic drag: poverty, corruption, inequality, all the sludge that slows that river down.
Okay, so that philosophy sounds good, but how do you possibly turn that into actual math? Well, this is where things get really fascinating. Let's look at the mathematical heart of this engine.
The key, it turns out, is a very, very special number, the golden ratio, also known as phi. This thing pops up everywhere in nature. It's in the spiral of a seashell, the petals on a flower, even the proportions of the human body. People often call it nature's number for perfect balance and harmony.
And this right here is the universal formula built around it. The equity index, or EI, is basically prosperity divided by the sum of prosperity and friction. But here's the kicker. Friction doesn't get treated equally. It's first divided by the golden ratio, by phi. What this does, mathematically, is it kind of softens the blow of all the negative stuff. It builds in this idea that a system can still be in a healthy, productive balance, even with both positives and negatives present.
Now, because of that formula, you get this natural equilibrium point, right around 0.618. You can think of this as the break-even point for human well-being. If a system scores above this number, it's creating more value than it's costing us. If it's below it, well, friction is winning, and that system is actually a net negative for humanity.
So, you have this one elegant formula. What can you actually do with it? Well, the output is a single, universal score that lets you compare just about any economic entity you can imagine.
And when I say everything, I mean everything. Just look at this. You can use the same core math to get an equity index for a country, or for a blockchain, like Bitcoin, or a commodity like oil, or even a single consumer product. The inputs are different, but the engine is always the same.
And what this lets you do is make these direct apples-to-apples comparisons. So, for example, Norway has an equity index of 0.85, while Bitcoin's is around 0.55. Now, this isn't a moral judgment. It's not about Norway good, Bitcoin bad. It just means that mathematically, Norway's system is far more efficient at turning its resources into human well-being than Bitcoin's system is once you account for all the friction.
Okay, so we've got a score for everything. But the system proposes one final and honestly game-changing application. What if we built a completely new kind of money based on these scores? And that is the equity token, or ET. It's a digital currency, but its value is pegged to the global equity index. That's the average score of all countries. So its value isn't based on speculation or debt. It's tied directly to the genuine, measurable progress of humanity. And this is where it all comes together in this brilliant proposed outcome: a positive feedback loop, a race to the top. Let's walk through it. Step 1, transparency. The scores are public, revealing the true value and the hidden costs. That leads to Step 2, capital. Naturally starts flowing toward the more efficient, high-equity systems. This creates a massive incentive for the lower-scoring countries to reform, to fight corruption and inequality. As they do, their scores go up, which finally leads to global progress. The entire world's average score rises, which increases the value of that equity token for everyone. It's a system designed to perfectly align our own self-interest with the collective good.
So, we're left with this one final, incredibly powerful question. It's a huge idea with just enormous implications. Could a single number, a single metric rooted in the mathematics of nature itself, actually reshape our entire global economy to prioritize what truly matters, human well-being?